Hey everyone, and welcome back to Zero Podcast. On today's episode, we're going to be talking to Daniel Keller. He's the Chief Strategy Officer and Advisor at Zelcash. He's going to be breaking down the project for us, and he's also going to be explaining how their multi-wallet works. We hope you enjoy. All right, Daniel, thanks for coming on the show. Really appreciate it. So we're just going to jump straight in. Can you give us a background on what Zelcash is all about?
Yes, absolutely, and thanks for having me on today. So Zelcash is a privacy-based coin. It's based off of Zcash. So currently we are in lockstep with Zcash and Sapling and Overwinter upgrades that they did. When Zelcash was created, we really wanted to think about thinking outside the box and creating an ecosystem specifically for cryptocurrency. So there's a lot of projects that don't necessarily have a use case, and we wanted to make sure that when Zelcash was created that there was a complete and total use case, and it also opened up a platform in what we'll talk about later on in Zelcore that gave us the opportunity to bring in new users to the space, make it more efficient and make it more seamless for individuals to use crypto. So we know we love crypto and the privacy aspect of it, but it needs to also have a usability feature in it as well. Right. Crypto was not necessarily easy, let's say a year and a half ago, in terms of wallets and custody and exchanges and so on and so forth. So the Zelcash team came together and they really wanted to look at the entire ecosystem. They wanted to look at it as a platform, as a service, and that's kind of how Zelcash was born, and now projects from that.
Okay, that's really interesting. That's a different approach, it sounds like, from a lot of other projects. So what's your own background? Give us your backstory and how you got into crypto.
Was at the right place at the right time. I've been in crypto for a few years now. Had a couple good friends of mine. We started mining together. We found a couple good projects. Zcash, when it was first launched, was one that we looked at, and of course
mining seems to be a huge one for people to come into this space.
Yeah, I think it really is. It's attractive to people and us tech friendly individuals. Whether you're tech friendly or whether you're an investor or you're a speculator or you're a community member, we all have this affinity for mining because it's something different than what we've been used to. So, I think that's what hooked me into it. I've been in IT and technology for 20 some years. So, what I bring to the team
around,
is, I bring business acumen to the team. So we have 5 core team members of the team, and we have Miles, who is actually he'll soon be 17 years old, but he's actually the founder of the project, which is amazing.
Wow.
Smart, unbelievably smart guy. Just can't say enough really about all the core. So we have Parker, who is our COO, and he is absolutely a valuable asset to the project. We have Trunk, who is a mad coding genius. And we have Lumi, who is absolutely a design expert. And then we have me that has the business acumen that brings it all together. So
your role is Chief Strategy Officer?
Yes.
So what does that entail day to day?
So basically, what I do is I look at how we plan the business features and what we're going to do in terms of strategy. What do we develop and when and how? And we've been very effective in this space when other projects are doing massive raises for tons of money and don't really have anything more than a white paper and a dream.
There's plenty of those, yeah.
Yeah. We made a commitment very early on to all work together and stay together. As a matter of fact, we all have contracts. We don't work on any other projects. The core works only on Zelcash and Zelcore. That's all we do. That's our focus, primary focus. And we all believed in creating a more seamless environment for crypto. And we want to let our product speak for itself. And I recommend anybody that's listening to the show download Zelcore, take a look at it. I think they're gonna be highly pleased. And as a strategy officer, my goal is to keep us moving forward and develop different pieces of this project, iterative pieces, to ensure that we continue to keep developing the ecosystem. So that's kind of my job as business partnerships. We work with different individuals in the space and keep developing these different partnerships, and that makes sense. We're not gonna do like some of these projects that will partner with a bagel if you let them. We're gonna actually partner with individuals that make sense.
Strategic partnerships. Yeah, that's important.
Yeah.
So for people who are more interested in the mining side of things, what are the benefits of Zelcash?
Well, Zel is we are the leader in the basically the ASIC resistance. So our goal has to remain ASIC resistant. So when Zcash ended up with Z9s and we had to switch algorithms, we did that, and we continue to be leading and looking for different areas where we can remain ASIC resistant. So one of the core pieces to the core team and the affinity is we all are dedicated to decentralization. So we have this weird mindset where we believe that decentralization it's not weird, it's fact, it's good, it's a good thing to have, but we want to make sure we commit resources to remaining decentralized. And to do that, we have to go against ASICs because that's a very centralized piece. So
right, so you're very clear on your path of decentralization there.
Yes, sir. Yeah, and we even we have a granting arm of Zell, which is the foundation, that we also offered up a grant to research and develop Prog POW, which is Ethereum is doing this as well. I think Zcash has a piece out there as well for it. But our goal is to do whatever it takes to remain ASIC resistant and protect our miners and our community, because there's a very large investment placed into mining equipment and investing in the project, and we want to make sure that we remain decentralized first and foremost.
I think that's great. I think that's really important. So that kind of leads us nicely onto the Zel nodes that we were talking about off air. So they're coming out this weekend, you said?
Yeah, so this has kind of been a labor of love for us. So we agreed very early on, as Zelcore was being developed and the Zelcash project was being put together, that we wanted to continue to push for development and decentralized applications. So we started to look at some of the node structure that was out there, and we said the idea behind master nodes is a good idea, but the practice of how it's been done has been anything but beautiful. So what we did is we actually took the positive pieces of the decentralized aspect of nodes and node ownership, and we brought together the requirements that we believe will actually help create the largest decentralized computational network in the world. Every node owner, instead of throwing it up on a box that sits in a basement somewhere, has to have actual criteria that they meet for each level of the node. So you have the basics all the way up to the BAMF, which is the largest decentralized node.
And have you guys decided on how much Zelcash it will cost to run a node yet, or?
Yeah, so our entry level is 10,000, then we have 20,000, and then we have the largest one, which is 100,000. And okay. the largest ones are highly dedicated, resource heavy nodes that really honestly are probably, if you're really good at bare bones or bare metal servers, you could probably stand one of these things up, but it's more VPS dependent. So with that, we realized that we were going to have to create some strategic partnerships around how do we engage VPS providers so that they understand exactly what it is we're doing, and it's not just another node project, and we're not mining cryptocurrency on your VPS. And so we reached out to one of the largest VPS providers in DigitalOcean, and we spent quite a bit of time sitting and discussing and sharing with them how these decentralized computational networks would work. So we were very pleased with DigitalOcean. As a matter of fact, we partnered with them, and there are referral codes. If you go to the medium.com, Zelcash official, you can read all about Zelnodes and what they're doing and how we're doing it. You can also find information on that partnership there as well.
So you
We
guys are
also,
very careful about the about your partnerships and so on and so forth. You wanted to be very specific.
yeah, I think partnerships should be relationship building. I don't think you should do these things just for the sake of doing them. I think they need to have a purpose, and I think that purpose needs to benefit both individuals. And I think especially with the DigitalOcean partnership, we've created this portal, and I believe as of today we had 137 nodes stood up, and the numbers were astronomical. The number of threads that we had open and hard drive space, because there is this criteria that each one of these nodes has. So yes, very strategic, very well thought through, and we almost become practitioners of explaining what crypto truly is, even to our partners. So they don't necessarily understand what a decentralized computational network is. But if you break it down for them and explain that you're going to have VPSs that are decentralized on different service providers and different bare metal servers all around the world, their ears perk up, because that's something that's never been explained to them, or really
Right,
honestly,
yeah.
it's new. It's something new.
So speaking of partnerships, you also are partnered with Gemini, which is a pretty big deal. Do you want to elaborate on what that means for Zelcash?
Well, Zelcore worked really hard to foster relationships with good strategic leaders. So we reached out to Gemini about becoming a supported wallet. And if you go to Gemini and look at the GUSD, you'll see that we're listed as one of the supported platforms there. We want to make sure that as we create these different partnerships, that some of them are transparent, and we put them out there to everyone, and other ones we want to have working relationships. So in
Right.
business, it's not always wise to go out there and display for everybody to affect your. In crypto, it's a little bit different, because they do it to affect the price of their crypto. We do it because it makes sense, and we want to have strategic business leaders. So we may not announce immediately that we have a partnership or developing a partnership with really anyone, because we don't want to affect. We want to protect our miners. We want to
Yeah,
protect our
the
investors.
price, of course, yeah.
Yeah.
So I also noticed that you were reviewed by Proof of Review, which is a great project in my opinion. They really break down projects really, really well. Do you want to talk about what your experience was like with them?
My experience with Proof of Review was awesome. We reached out to them initially because as we started to gain traction in the space, and we had new miners coming into the space, we wanted to make sure that we were transparent to the community. And part of that is really an understanding, a quick synopsis of who you are as a business model, who you are as a leadership team, who you are as a project. And we didn't find necessarily a really good way to relay that information ourselves. And Proof of Review came in and put together a nice several-page overview validating, the core team, the strengths of the project. They did a review and analysis of the code of Zelcash. They really honestly were, from beginning to end, they were very they dug deep. And it was
Thorough,
it was
yeah.
it was impressive to me, because once we gave that to the mining community, they felt more secure with investing time and resources into the project. And then the investment community, is funny, because a lot of that stuff they have already discerned themselves through researching and doing due diligence on the
Yeah.
project. But there's always new users that want to come into this space. So it made a real quick snapshot of exactly where we were at.
I mean, they've reviewed a variety of different projects, including Zero Currency. We have some friends over at Zero Currency, and I mean, my knowledge of those projects went up quite a lot after reading, Proof of Review's review of them. So from a marketing point of view, you plan to be listed on any bigger exchanges in the coming months, or? That's always the goal, isn't it?
That's well, and that is always the goal. And what I like to do is when I'm asked this question quite regular, I tell people I have this little meme that I use all the time in our Discord, and it has a picture of Morpheus and Neo. And Neo says to Morpheus, he says, "So you're telling me that when Zelcash is ready, it can be listed on any exchange?" And Morpheus says to Neo, he says, "I'm telling you, when Zelcash is ready, it won't matter." And that has been our commitment. These uplisting trends that you see with projects where they go on to say, Binance or one of these larger exchanges, even Coinbase, you'll see this uplisting surge. And the reality of it is we want to get beyond that, and that's why we've focused very heavily on creating a decentralized exchange model. What that looks like, I can't really tell you, but I will say that our goal is to be listed on every crypto exchange out there, but our real goal is to actually be the exchange that Zelcore is the exchange that really people gravitate toward. So I'm not saying we'd like to dethrone Binance or anything like that, and I think Binance is doing a heck of a job acknowledging that there needs to be the next version of exchanges with their DEX and what they're working on.
Yeah. So you plan to have your own exchange in the future?
Yeah, I think I think at some point that's a natural iteration for the project. We have all these nice cryptocurrencies, 120 plus, and a really beautiful wallet and interface, and it would be a shame not to have some level of decentralized exchange built into that. So yes, I think
I couldn't agree more. Yeah. So another thing you're working on is the Zelcore wallet. Now, I've personally used this myself, and there's a wide range of cryptos you can store in it. You have a desktop wallet, and you have mobile, if I'm correct. Tell us what it was like building that and what it's like.
It was awesome. I'll be honest with you. It speaks for itself. I think that it's seamless. It is well polished, and we went out and we
love the background too.
Yeah, well, and I know it's weird, but the background can be changed. We decided.
I don't think it's weird at all. I think it's actually very authentic.
Yeah, a lot of people, they go in there and they change the background. They're like, hey, how do we get the default back? Because we want that. We wanted to really polish this thing through and through. We want to go beyond the standard crypto user. We're very blessed in our first world environment to have banking institutions and things that we can kind of take it for granted. But what we wanted to do is create a platform where we could have people use this as their primary crypto wallet, and also eventually as their primary means of financial practice. So we took all the facets from different wallets. We really went out and looked at what worked, and Miles and Lumi and Trunk and all of us, we really sat there and we really looked at how do these things work and what would look better and what would be more seamless and what would be almost Apple-esque. So we wanted to have that look and that feel of not just a wallet. We want to be a platform. We want to have multiple dApps in it. We want to have our exchange. We now have a decentralized two-factor authentication on the wallet. We wanted to listen to what the mining community, the investment community, and other members of the community were saying to us, and man, it really ended up being a polished piece.
All right. So how many assets does the wallet hold currently?
So currently, I think we're at about 105 assets, and we're continuing to add more assets every day. We took a little bit of a break while we're going through the Zel node rollout and the Zel node process, but we continue to identify different projects to be added. We have a short list. Our goal is to keep adding community-based projects and anything else that would our community would feel of value.
Right. What kind of features can we expect from the Zelcore wallet coming up?
Well, we just literally released the fact that we were going to create Zelcore Premium, which is actually going to be the next iteration of what Zelcore is going to kind of morph into. And with the Zelcore Premium, what we're really looking to do is develop a more robust environment for people that are beyond the standard holding phase, and they want to move into, say, investment tools, news and research, analytics, custody management, trading and TA, charting, aggregated exchange information.
So that'll all be integrated.
Yeah, and that'll be part of our premium. And the one really amazing feature that we're working on, and I think that this will absolutely kind of change the game, is that we're working on creating the aggregated exchange feature, where you can go in and actually launch any centralized exchange. So let's hypothetically say that it's Binance, and you can execute your trades directly on Binance through their API integration inside of Zelcore. And then the cool thing about it is when you're done, you can then offload from the exchange back to your Zelcore wallet. So you never left the ecosystem. You're actually staying right put where you're at. Charting and all that kind of stuff is right built in. And it's all in one place. Yeah.
That's really interesting. I think that's really interesting.
It is very interesting, and I think it's going to be very powerful. The other thing is, when we're looking at creating an environment where we move Zelcore from being a utilitarian style piece. So right now it's really utility based. So if I go in, I hold my crypto, if I'm a miner, I might check it every other day, or in my case, I used to check it like every 20 minutes, but that's besides the point. And we're going away from the utilitarian piece. So the Zelcore Basic will always be there. We'll continue to keep adding assets and developing those assets, because we need those people to have that utilitarian feel. But we want to become more of that seamless platform, and with aggregated news involvement. So we want people to come back to Zelcore to be their primary engagement for everything crypto. So if they want to check their news aggregates, they can do it right in Zelcore. If they want to check let's say their trading analysis or whatever it is for the day, they can do that as well. And we're even taking it a step beyond that, and we're looking at investment tools. So we have some partnerships that'll be announced here pretty soon, where you can actually go in and purchase baskets of crypto, investment portfolios, and hold them directly in your Zelcore. So what it does is it takes us from being this just standard crypto wallet, and really makes us a crypto investment platform. It really is fintech defined.
Well, I think you guys are very ambitious, and I think it's going to be a project I'm going to have to keep a closer eye on, because you guys are doing some very interesting stuff. But just before we finish up, if you wanted to tell the Zelcash community one last thing, what can they expect from you guys in 2019 to keep an eye out for?
The really good words you use there is the Zelcash community. If I was speaking to the Zelcash community, they already know our dedication. So, they already know what to expect, and the fact that we work really hard to bring them the next biggest and greatest things. I will tell you this: there's some surprises on the horizon, things to be excited about. I'm not the kind of guy to kiss and tell, so I'm not gonna throw different things out.
That's fine.
Yeah, but what I would like to do is, anyone that's listening to this that has not used the platform, has not looked at the project, please do so. Go out and check out our Medium. It's medium.com/ZelOfficial. You can learn all about Zelcore there. You can learn all about D2FA. You can learn all about Zelcash and the platform overall. You can also read about Zelcore Premium and its features that are coming out. And
join find you on Twitter as well.
Yep, you can find us on Twitter at Zel_core and at Zelcash. So, come check us out there. We're always doing something there, and we have almost over 4,000 people in our Discord. So if you want a good community that's going to be that'll help you learn things about Zel, we have these unique individuals who kind of work together in projects. So Zero was one of our projects that we worked with very early on, and we have some of their community is our community too, because they have this close affinity to each other. So, I think what you'll find is if you come on in there and you talk to us, you're going to see a lot of familiar faces.
That's great. You guys are kind of a close-knit community. It's nice that you guys communicate across with other projects as well. I think we covered a lot today, Daniel. Thanks. I really appreciate you coming on, taking the time out to speak about the project. So thanks for everyone listening. We'll be back next week again with another episode. Make sure you follow us on our official Twitter. That's @0podcast. See you all in the next episode.